Psalms 103:3, you say, He forgives all my sins and He heals all my diseases.
There's a silence that exists before sunrise. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of waiting. The silence carried by people who have learned not to complain. People who wake up before dawn not because they want to, but because pain does not let them sleep. Some people wake up to alarms. Others wake up to pain. Before the city fully opens its eyes, they're already arriving. Quietly, slowly, patiently. No one here is searching for luxury. Most is simply searching for relief.
Our security team, they always arrive here by 2 a.m. in the morning. And I'm always surprised to see big lines in the morning from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. Still, we have big lines waiting for us. I can able to feel like in these communities where we are serving, still people are struggling silently in their various houses.
In communities where healthcare feels unreachable, suffering slowly becomes normal. People continue walking through illness. They continue raising children through pain. They continue carrying invisible burdens because survival leaves no room to stop. And little by little, the body adapts. Not because the pain disappears, but because life demands endurance. For some, treatment is delayed by money. For others, by distance. For many, by the quiet fear of discovering something they could never afford to treat.
Shida yenye nilikuwa nayo, nililetwa hapa kama sitembei. Mguu zangu zote zilikufa kuanzia chini hapa mpaka kwa kiuno. Sasa vile nilikuja hapa nikafanyiwa matibabu kana daktari, kesho mpaka nikapelekwa mahali ninafanyiwa therapy. Nikafanyiwa therapy, daktari yenye nilipata hapo akaliniambia nisikae chini sana, nisiendelee kufanya exercise. Sasa nilijaribu kufanya exercise mpaka mahali nimepata nafuu, sasa naweza tembea. Lakini wakati niletwa hapa sikuwa naweza kutembea hata kidogo. Nilikuwa ninabebwa. Pale pote nilikuwa naelekezwa kama nimebebwa.
Actually, they even prefer maybe to live with painkillers because they cannot afford to see a doctor. Sometimes they feel like instead of them going for medical services, they better maybe buy food for their children or maybe pay rent and other basic needs because they feel like the pain now is becoming part of their life and they feel like it's fine, let me just postpone my illness, but I need to buy food for my children. So you find like these people who are living in these communities, they can't afford to go for health services. So instead, they prefer to normalize their pain to be part and parcel of their life, as much as they also trying to make sure that they are meeting the basic needs of food and also maybe the basic needs for their living. So most of them, they prefer living with the illness because they cannot afford to go for healthcare services.
And for many families here, painkillers became healthcare. Some have been waiting months, some years, some an entire lifetime for someone to finally ask, what is hurting?
In 1, 2, 3, official free medical
It is the 5th edition of the annual UCESCO Medical Camp, and as morning breaks across the grounds, the lines continue growing. Faces tired from waiting, bodies tired from carrying invisible pain. Yet somehow, hope remains. Hope in medicine, hope in answers, hope in finally being seen.
The very first year I came to Nairobi, Kenya was 2021. I walked in at 8 a.m. and I just remember seeing the number of patients that were in dire need of medical assistance. We had individuals coming from as far as an 8-hour bus ride from different districts of Kenya, and it just showed to me how much medical care was needed.
Inside the camp, stories unfold one after the other.
Nilikuwa na mtoto alikuwa mgonjwa, alikuwa shida ya tumbo, alikuwa na hara, anakojoa makojo ile red inakaa tu damu. Sasa nikakuja nikaona daktari, akapelekwa, alipimwa. Akipimwa nilipatikana kama kuna shida kwa hiyo mkojo, alafu nilipewa dawa. Sasa vile nilienda na hiyo dawa nilimpea, lakini niliona kama kuna nafuu.
None of these stories asked to become tragedies. Most began as ordinary symptoms, ordinary pain, ordinary illness. But poverty has a way of making simple problems dangerous.
I had a case of a lady that had come in with a swollen arm, and she was very upset about the arm. She could barely move it. So when I started examining her, it turned out that she had breast cancer that had progressed. And the reason why she had a swollen arm was because of the breast cancer. That wasn't the primary issue. And she didn't even realize that she had breast cancer. And it was heartbreaking to me. We had a young woman who is in her 30s who has breast cancer, and the biggest thing that she is upset about is not being able to use her arm. And unfortunately, this wasn't someone that we could treat. And that to me is heartbreaking. If only she had been seen earlier, this would have been something that could have been cured.
Not everyone can be seen immediately. Some are hidden inside years of endurance, years of postponing care, years of choosing survival first. And still the people wait, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with extraordinary patience.
At least we are able to give back to the community, and we can see the need is really high. Giving back is one of our main goals.
Some of these healthcare services, they feel it's like luxurious because, to see some of the consultants, it's like 10,000 Kenya shillings. And you can imagine somebody living with less than $1 in a day. You can imagine how many days you can able to save for him or for her to manage to go to an hospital.
Sometimes change happens so slowly that it is almost impossible to notice. A little blur, a little cloudiness, a little less light each day, until one morning, the world no longer looks the way it once did. For years, Jane lived with that uncertainty, not knowing why her vision was changing, not knowing what was wrong, only knowing that everyday tasks were becoming more difficult.
Nilikuwa nasikia sione vizuri, naona white, nilikienda tu hospitali napewa dawa naweka, nilisaidii, waniambie niko na kiti kwa macho.
We have experienced a lot of patients who have done the over-the-counter medication, which is most people that's what they do, and they end up either getting the wrong medication and the condition keeps persisting, not getting any treatment. But for this particular case, we usually now go to the exact and do the right measurements and the right diagnosis for the patient, and they are happy. Yeah. And we get a good solution and a long-lasting solution for their eye problem.
She kept looking for answers, visit after visit, medicine after medicine, yet the questions remained. And over time, uncertainty became part of daily life.
Lakini wakati wao nilienda kwao, waliniangalia, wakaniangalia mpaka na mashine, wakaniambia niko na hizo vitu.
For the first time, someone looked deeper. For the first time, there was an explanation. And with that explanation came something equally important, a way forward.
Wakaniambia nikuje na huku, nitatibiwa. Ndio niko hapa na nimetibiwa na nimetisha shukrani. Kwa wakapo ndio kwanza waliona mgonjwa, ndio walitume na huko nimewarudishia shukrani.
For Agnes, the challenge was about more than eyesight. It was about independence, about work, about continuing to provide for her family. Because when vision begins to fade, everything becomes harder.
Niseme nini kuhusu hii camp kwa sababu imenisaidia sana. Nilikuwa nimeenda huko juu hizi macho zangu. Kwa sababu nilipimwa, hata wale walikuwa huko walinipima vizuri sana. Wakaniambia niko na, wanasema ni Caritas, macho zote mbili, na niko short-sighted kabisa.
For many people, healthcare is not simply about treatment. It is about keeping life moving, working, providing, caring for those who depend on you.
Naweza sema hata msikujange one per year, mkujange kama 3 kwa sababu inatusaidia sana.
Because illness does not wait for the next medical camp, and neither do the responsibilities people carry every day.
Kama sisi hatuna kitu, sisi hatuna pesa za kujifikisha mahali kama hapa, hatuna. Hata kama nikukuja kama leo, nikukopa bus fare, ambapo hata sasa mtu ajui hata kile ataenda kukula ama kukunywa kwa saa hii. Mimi kwangu niseme mimi ndio mama na mimi ndio baba.
Some burdens are carried quietly. The responsibility of raising a family alone. The pressure of finding work tomorrow. The uncertainty of whether there will be enough. And yet, people continue moving forward, one day at a time.
So I wish nitaweza kuona vizuri, ndio niweze kutafuta kibarua vizuri. Kazi yangu ni kutafuta vibarua za kufua na nini. Lakini nyinyi nasema mbarikiwe zaidi.
Our happiness is when we see people smiling, people having a second chance, and people having another hope that they can able to live and take care of their family.
It is a simple hope, to see clearly, to work, to provide, to keep going. For many people, these things are ordinary. For others, they mean everything. There is dignity in these lines. Dignity in mothers comforting children while they wait. Dignity in elderly patients sitting for hours without complaint. Dignity in people who continue hoping after disappointment has become familiar.
The journey we started from Kariobangi, ended up to Kayole, and here we are in Olympic. In Kariobangi, we started data collection, and we've already collected like 4,998 patients, and the eye population we did get, it was from female patient, adult, that is above 12 years, and we ended up going to Kayole. Kayole, we collected a data of 5,000 plus. And here in Olympic, we are doing great because we're having so many patients coming from so far, and other patients are traveling from different cities.
Here we are doing something with love, with dignity, and with compassion. So all the doctors that I recruit for this medical camp, they have to go through the training. I have to train them to have the heart of humanity, the heart of joy, the heart of compassion. That's why when the patient comes here, they have opportunity to explain or to express themselves freely, because our doctors, they give a good listening to them. They have a very welcoming face, and when they come here, they feel they get a lot of very high hospitality.
Across the camp, doctors and volunteers move tirelessly from one patient to another, listening carefully, treating gently, trying to carry as many lives as possible within the limits of a single week.
So far, we have managed to get a couple of referral cases that we have taken up, and some of them we have managed to pay for them insurance that will help cover their management and follow-up. Some of them we have done procedures. We have done lipomas and some surgical procedures for patients who could not help themselves. And for procedures which were too expensive for them to handle, we tried our best to help out where we can.
I got to do pediatric. I never thought that I would enjoy children, but seeing them smile makes me very happy. And then here in dental, it's a little more on the flip side because everyone's scared of needles and pliers, but it's very nice to see them be happy out there. So when you give the children a piece of candy and they're crying, you just comfort them. But altogether, this experience is beautiful. It makes me happy to give back to people doing one of the things I love the most.
There was a case where a child hadn't met, so they call it delayed milestones, and the child hadn't met any of the milestones for 2.5 years. So that was really concerning, but the parent still walked in with a smile on her face, and the kid, even though, I mean, there's obviously a lot going on there, it seemed like the mother had made it to where the kid was just comfortable. And Dr. Nelly was saying in that case, there's nothing we can do to, just get the milestones to occur right then and there, but we just have to wait and see and make the child comfortable then and there. And that mother had just done an amazing job.
Every year they return, not because the work becomes easier, but because the need never disappears. Justin, a young child from Mathare, just getting started with his early years of education. Bright, curious, full of potential. But long before anyone understood the seriousness of his injury, pain had already begun changing the shape of his childhood. While other children ran freely after school, Justin learned to remain seated, to move carefully, to hide discomfort behind silence, and slowly, what began as an injury became something much heavier.
Wakati alivunjika, sikuwa najua. Sasa nimeona mtoto anatembea kama anaenda hivi. Tulikuwa nakaa kwa veranda na jirani yangu. Na nikauliza hii jirani yangu, na hii mtoto anatembea aje? Baadaye tukamweka chini, Justin. Kuangalia mguu ingine imefura, ingine haijafura. Nikamwambia Justin, ni nini mbaya? Ati nilianguka. Ulianguka wapi? Ati nilianguka kwa mawe. Mawe wapi? Huko nyuma. Na kwa nini hukusema? Hakujibu hiyo. Sasa mimi nikaambia mama yake achukue mtoto apeleke wapi? Tukaanza kunyorosha kwanza. Kunyorosha anaona mtoto analia. Tunamisa mtoto. Nikasema sasa chukua hii 200 upeleka hapa Baraka. Baraka akapeleka, amepatia transfer mpaka Mathare Mento. Mwenye alikuwa anawekea plaster waliweka tu. Wameweka hiyo plaster wamerudi kwa hospitali zile wanarudisha mtoto waenda mtolee. Baada mguu iko tu hivyo wakarudisha ingine. Tena iko same. Sasa tunaona tu mguu ikaanza kukunjana tu hivi. Mtoto anatembea kama mguu inakunjana.
For many families living without access to affordable healthcare, illness does not end after the first hospital visit. Sometimes that is where the real struggle begins. Hospital after hospital, questions without answers, bills impossible to afford. And somewhere inside that exhaustion, hope slowly begins to disappear.
Nikajaribu kupeleka hata kwa hii madawa ya kienyeji. Anyoroshe mguu rudi sawa. Ikakataa, nikasema yote niwachie Mungu. Kumbe Mungu pia alikuwa anasikia, mwalimu akaona hiyo mguu ya mtoto akakuja kuuliza, na nyinyi mmepanga nini? Nikamwambia mwalimu, nimejaribu nimeshindwa, sasa nitafanya nini?
There are children who wait for school to end so they can go play. and their children who wait because they cannot walk home on their own.
I've been also monitoring Justin's academic performance. He's a very good boy academically. He performs very well. When he broke his leg, it got to a point that he used to limp because of the accident that happened to him after breaking his leg. He broke his leg twice, and it was very severe.
Sometimes help arrives through medicine. Sometimes it arrives through people who refuse to look away. For Justin, that help began inside a classroom.
I took him to Dr. Sarah, and after I took him to Dr. Sarah, she did a referral to Dr. Gonson, whom we've been working closely, and the surgery was done last year in June, which took around 7 hours. I was also there with Justin. I gave the family support, and I've been monitoring even the therapy, every checkup that he has been going through. Now we are in the last surgery. We are waiting for the last surgery that is going to take place this weekend, and now we will be through with the surgeries and waiting for the recovery. So within one month, 2 months, Justin will walk straight.
Asante Mr. Kingsley kwa yale yote umefanyia mtoto yangu, kwa mjukuu yangu. Mungu akubariki sana.
For many children, healthcare determines far more than physical healing. It determines dignity, confidence, education, freedom. It determines whether a child spends their early years chasing dreams or simply learning how to survive pain. And sometimes, it determines whether a child gets the chance to simply be a child again.
One such case is a little boy who had had an accident at the age of 4, and he had broken his lower leg and broken both the tibia and fibula, and he had received absolutely no treatment at all. And because of that, both bones had fused in a way where it was literally at an angle, and this had prevented growth of that leg as well, so the leg was significantly shorter. We were able to do surgery on this little boy who, by the time that I saw him, he was 5 in 2025, and we were able to straighten his leg, and then we went through several other procedures to lengthen the leg, and he is still undergoing this a whole year later, so we're now in 2026, but he's doing so well, and he can actually put his weight on the leg, and we're hoping that his entire treatment will be finished by the end of the year. And it was an absolute pleasure to see this little boy, who is now 6, with a huge smile on his face, come back to just thank myself and the whole team. Cases like this is really about what we're doing right here.
Sometimes healing does not arrive all at once. Sometimes it begins with something small. A diagnosis, a medicine packet, a child standing without pain, a mother finally sleeping without fear. Sometimes the most emotional moments are also the quietest.
Alikuwa anakojoa makojo red. Sasa tulipewa dawa. Alitumia hizo dawa na naona kuna change sasa amepoa.
One thing that really amazed me that I saw yesterday, we had a patient who came with is a non-epileptic patient. He's been on medication, but one thing that really was amazing to me is that according to his presentation, he's been having this shortness of breath every time he gets an attack, and that is so unusual, especially depending on the cases that epileptic patients come with. So for that case, it was really weird because each and every time he gets attacked, he developed chest pain, difficulty in breathing, then he gets attacked. So this was kinda a very weird presentation of the epilepsy, and I'm happy that we are able to discuss that with our general director, Dr. Sarah, and we are able to assist him in getting medication. And I'm also happy that patients are able to come for this medical camp, they get medication.
For many here, Treatment is not just healthcare, it is dignity restored.
What we've been seeing is patients coming in as early as 3 a.m. and lining up just to make sure that they are the first 1,000 to be able to register and be seen. So we have a cap on how many patients we can see every day. And it does break my heart that someone arriving at 9 a.m. is being rejected and being told to come the following day. This really just tells me how much of a need there is.
This is the third week. And mostly the third week, people are tired, but the energy is still there. We're still serving the patients. When you go inside there, you'll see a long queue of patients waiting for the service to be offered to them. Most of the services that we're offering, we are giving all the medications the patient needs. Basic antibiotics, blood pressure medications, sugar medications, we have H. pylori medications, everything that the patients might need, all of them we have. And we've brought original medications. There is no medications that are below the standard. All of them are quality medications that have been approved to be used, and I believe our patients are getting the best service.
At first, it was just back pain, the kind of pain many people ignore. The kind of pain people convince themselves will eventually go away. But for Henry Opar Ochieng, it didn't. Day after day, the pain remained. Week after week, it followed him. Month after month, it slowly began changing the way he lived. Like many patients here, Henry did not delay treatment because he wanted to. He delayed because seeking treatment comes with a cost. The cost of medicine, the cost of transport, the cost of time away from work, and sometimes the painful uncertainty of not knowing whether the next hospital visit will finally bring answers.
So I was so much in pain, but I had to get to the hospital because I could not get to spinal center due to the means of transport. So I calculated, I saw I could not manage it, so I had to walk with the pain.
Every hospital visit was an investment. Every prescription was another expense. Every attempt to find relief carried a price. Yet the pain remained. And for a young man trying to build a future, pain has consequences beyond the body. It steals productivity. It steals opportunity. It steals confidence. And if left untreated long enough, it can slowly begin stealing dreams.
So wakati nilifika pale, nikaelezea daktari mwenye anifanyia physio, akaniambia hii kesi yako uko allergic. Nikamwambia hapana, na mbona hizi dawa umetumia na zikareact. Wakashare hiyo maneno na daktari Neli, akaniambia hebu enda kwa Dr. Sara. Kwenda kwa Dr. Sara, aka-examine, akaangalia hizo x-ray films, akaona, akasema hii hata ukidungwa sindano haitasaidia.
For the first time in months, Henry was not simply given another prescription. He was given an explanation.
Akaangalia, akasema hii issue yako unaenda through a lot of pain. Hata dawa ulipewa hii ya kupaka haizisaidia hii maumivu. So the best thing, utufuate Kayole, ukuje hiyo belt uone vile inakusaidia. So that's what the reason nimekujia belt leo. Na vile aliniahidi, nimepata hiyo belt.
One thing that I have noticed is that a lot of patients come to the medical camp not really knowing or understanding what they have. They come in for one thing, and then we actually do a proper history and a physical exam, and we're able to diagnose something completely different. We often have patients that have self-diagnosed. A typical example would be patients coming in stating that they have stomach ulcers, and reality is something quite different. I'm really grateful for the facilities that we have right here at the medical camp. We have ultrasound and we have medical lab testing right here on site, so we're able to further diagnose with ease. So it makes life a lot simpler And the number of diagnoses that we have for first-time ailments is actually quite incredible.
The belt will not solve everything. The pain may not disappear overnight. The journey toward healing is still unfinished. But sometimes hope begins with something simple: being understood. Having someone finally look beyond the symptoms and search for the cause. For Henry, the story is still being written. Like many patients here, he lives with more than treatment. He lives with the possibility that tomorrow may look different from yesterday. Even here, the need is greater than the time available, greater than the medicine, greater than the resources. For every patient receiving treatment, many more are still waiting.
Last year we managed to treat almost 14,000 patients, but the unfortunate thing is almost half of them went home without the treatment because we could not able to handle anymore. So when you see, like, as we are bringing down our tents and you see a lot of people still looking innocently to direct to our eyes, seeking for the help, emotionally it affects us.
As the sun begins to set, exhaustion settles across the camp. Volunteers continue working beneath fading light. The lines become slower, but they do not disappear. No one wants to leave untreated, because tomorrow, this opportunity may no longer exist. For thousands of families, this camp is not convenience. It is the difference between suffering alone and being seen, between silence and treatment, between pain and possibility. But 1 week is not enough.
We are now in the final week of the medical camp. We're in Kibera, and I feel like we have achieved so much. We are improving every single year we have the camp. We're having a continuous flow of patients coming in, and I'm really pleased to see how many patients we are able to serve. More importantly, we're able to do a greater number of referrals. We have well over 100 eye surgeries, 132 to be exact. So they will all be getting their eye surgeries, compliments of the Citadel Foundation, which is a big deal. I'm very grateful for the UCESCO team and all of their hard work in putting everything together for us. It's been amazing. We're continuing to do referrals, so we have a number of patients that will be receiving SHA, or will be getting direct assistance with anything that they need that is life-saving or life-altering. That includes surgeries, further testing, and just further assistance with medication that includes medication that might be very expensive and not really affordable. We're really pleased to be able to contribute to the community in this way.
For 1 week, healthcare came closer. Tomorrow, the waiting begins again. And then, slowly, the camp disappears. The tents are dismantled. The field that once carried thousands of stories becomes still again. But outside these grounds, pain continues, waiting continues, need continues. Need does not disappear when the tents do. Thousands have received care. Thousands more are still waiting.
UCESCO Africa, you are great. I'm a testimony of 2025 medical camp. I can smile, I can walk like a soldier. You made it happen to me, Dr. Sarah, Mr. Kingsley, and my doctor, Godson. God bless you. You are my hero.